actor, roll out.
The internet can be very mean, and especially for women.
Yes.
And I do gaming, so Gamergate has been a huge topic that we've been talking about, like, into the ground, unfortunately. Has that particular movement affected you at all, or, like, how do you just deal with the haters online? Because you said you manage your own social media. It's got to be a nightmare.
It is, I see it as a life experience that I am grateful for, because I think that that's honestly, the haters are honestly the reason why I have not given up on cosplay. Because if you think about it, if I had no haters and no one criticized me, you know, I would basically get the Michael Bay effect and just who knows, like, if there's no one to tell you you're doing something wrong, you're just gonna go like off the wall. So I call it the Michael Bay effect. So I will never have the Michael Bay effect because I will have too many people criticizing me and too many people, you know, nitpicking at everything that I do. And I think that is what really keeps me grounded and really puts everything in perspective. And it was given me, you know, not just a thick skin, but also made me understand that no matter how bad something is, how bad your day is, it will always pass. Like, when Heroes of Cosplay came out and there was so much criticism, you know, there were days where I'm just like, I can't breathe. I just like, is this ever gonna go away? Like, you know, the way that they edited things make literally everything that I've stood for the last 15 years sound completely opposite from my views. And when I realized that even that blew over and people not forgot or like just, you know, moved on to other things, then I was like, okay, now I know that everything in life will continue. And so Gamergate, you know, it has, in parts, I feel like it has affected cosplay, because we are gamers as well, and we dress up as game characters, and, you know, it's mainly about really scaring people into not voicing their opinions. You know, just I could not even truly voice my opinions on the gaming industry. All I did was share an article that someone else wrote and someone else did. And through sharing the article, I received so much criticism that I was like, man, like I understand how those women caught up in this must feel, because I'm not even a part of this, but just by, you know, just by sharing something and by trying to raise awareness for it, it has brought me so much grief and so much, like, you know, just aggression that I understand why they might be fearing for their life. And it's like, no matter what your opinion are on someone, you should not be made to leave your home. You should not be made to feel afraid for your life and your family's life. So I'm like, I understand those women, you know, I understand how they feel. So.
And just to leave you too, I recently, something that helped me, there was a little animated thing I saw that said, if video games taught me anything, it's that if you're not encountering bad guys, you're not going the right way.
Oh, there you go. There you go. It's very simple, but very true, right?
Yep.
I'll go next. So I was actually going to ask a similar question, but I'm kind of glad that you took it off my shoulders. So on a more lighter topic, would you say that at this point in the development of cosplay and with what level of popularity it's reached so far, would you say that it's difficult for someone to get started into it with you know, such high standards to meet up to and everything along those lines, or would you say it's like there's still open room for someone to transition into it and try to enjoy themselves?
I think now is best time to get into cosplay. I think it's better than ever to get into cosplay. I think if you wanted to specifically become famous in cosplay, it's a lottery. Like, some people are able to do it, and some people aren't, because it really is it's completely random. It's like a lightning strike. Yeah. But anybody can cosplay right now. You know, it's not. It's a great time.
I think it's easier to get into cosplay now than when we got into it.
Oh yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, the resources are just limitless. You can order wigs in any color instead of having to Sharpie them into submission. fabric is easier. The internet has just made the accessibility of it so right at your fingertips. Even I will just order half of my supplies online anymore and just have it show up at my
Amazon
door.
Prime. I love you. You've done wonders for my cosplay.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be like I didn't know anything besides the patterns at a local fabric store, so I would find the closest thing and then we'd alter it, and you know, you're stuck with whatever Joann's has. Now I order from all over the place.
Yeah. And I mean, I think like a lot of companies are catering to cosplayers. Like even cosplayers are catering to cosplayers. Like Arta Wigs is a company started by cosplayers. Anovos that got the license for Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, and Star Trek replica uniforms. They are cosplayers, or they were cosplayers, just fans. And like they have taken it to the next level by creating a business. Cosplayers like Kamui Cosplay are writing books on how to make armor, and they're supporting themselves solely. They were able to quit their jobs and support themselves solely based on that. And so I think it's very exciting right now for there to be this new renaissance of wanting to educate each other and wanting to share information, and really that I think that is the next step to making cosplay mainstream. So I think there's always room. I think you just have to come into it with a good head on your shoulders, because it's very easy to get caught up in, you know, the superficiality of it. Because cosplay, you know, is art, it's being a fan, but it's also attention. It's, you know, your face on display, your body on display, and how people view you. And if you're getting into cosplay solely for the sake of amassing a fan army, then, you know, that could possibly sustain you, but it could also possibly not. But if you get into cosplay wanting to hone your craft and wanting to offer a service or product that is unique, that people cannot get anywhere else, then, you know, it possibly is a longer sustaining format or longer sustaining goal. So I don't know. I have never stopped cosplaying for the most part because it fulfills me creatively, and that will never change. Like, my business could continue on without me making costumes. I could just keep selling cat ears and wings and whatever, or I could just rewear my costumes and do more photo shoots with my costumes, or I could just do lingerie and bikini shoots or whatever. But that's not what I want. You know, why I'm doing this after 15 years is just, it's encompassing all of these different things. It's like, yeah, I might do a lingerie shoot, but I'm gonna make an awesome costume too because I want to, and I'm gonna do photos of that costume as well. You know, because I'm a lot of different things, and I want to live my life doing what I love, and you know, so that's my biggest advice to anybody wanting to get into cosplay.
Okay, and I actually do have another follow-up question. So for people who might be intimidated by cosplayers such as yourself, or Living Ichigo, Dat Manly Cosplay, Jessica Nigri, and so on, what would you say to them if they feel too intimidated to start pursuing cosplay, whether it's because of the popularity of others or because they have body modifications such as piercings, tattoos, body shapes, or anything along those lines?
I always tell people not to be intimidated because we all had to start somewhere. You know, we all, like, I think the telltale sign of someone getting into cosplay a lot of times is because they did not feel accepted. They were not the prom queen, or they were not, you know, the popular football kid or something in school. Like, they were somehow different, and they somehow did not feel like they fit in, because inherently what makes you want to dress as a fictional character, it's because you are looking for a fantasy, you're escaping something. And I think that's why everybody who cosplays that I've met, all of these, you know, impossibly fit people, all of these impossibly gorgeous people, impossibly talented people, once you get to know them, they have just as many insecurities as anybody else, and myself included. So there is nothing to be intimidated by. Like, you are starting your journey. It's not your journey compared to my journey, you know. It's like you should just do what makes you happy and surround yourself with people that have the same mindset. I think that's very important. That's why I love cosplaying with Hannah, because I know I can count on her to finish a costume even if we are thousands of miles apart. I know that she will not complain the day of, like, she won't complain when I tell her you need to get up at 7 with me to get started getting dressed. And I know that she loves the character just as much as I do. And so it's like you need to find people that you vibe with and that you can cosplay with. And that's all. And then whatever else happens. It's just cherry on the on top of the cake.
I mean, I